Hello, this is Cassie, and this is me at my allotment, and this is the beginning of what I hope will become a really fun and interesting journey with me as I show you my allotment through the year, and hopefully together we can harvest some lovely produce and see some lovely flowers and just learn a bit more as we go about allotment life. So the first thing to do is probably give you a bit of a tour of this allotment. And I say this allotment because I'm very fortunate and I have two allotments in two different places about 3 miles apart. And that can mean I'm kind of spending a bit of time between the two of them and having dilemmas as to which to be at. But it also means I get the opportunity to try out which plants grow well at one allotment and which grow best at the other. And there's lots more learning to be done in that, as well as this allotment here that I'm about to show you here in North Wales. I also have at this same site the use of two other bits of land which people have asked me to help them out with when they become a little bit overwhelmed. So there's lots to see, lots of different areas. I've kind of been waiting to do this until my allotment was in a good state to share with you, but you know, I don't think it's ever going to be in a state that's like Instagram perfect or anything like that. This is just real life, and real life isn't perfect. Neither is my hair. I was going to wait till I'd washed my hair and all those sort of things, but here I am. This is me, scruffy me, in my scruffy allotment, but it's glorious. So yeah, last week of April, beginning of May, at the end of this week, let's have a look what's going on, shall we? So I'll just turn you around. So yeah, this is the view across the valley. This is not all my allotment in the background. I'll tell you what is mine and what isn't in a moment. Let's make a little start. See there, lots of garlic growing really nicely that I've got in the bed there, and that I put in October, end of October last year, and it wasn't garlic that was actually sold for growing, which is what I've used last year, but it was some garlic from a farm shop that was being kind of sold as always like posh garlic, and it was really quite big and it was looking very healthy, so I thought I'd pop that in, and wow, it's just looking really lovely, as you can see. I use the no-dig technique for my allotment, having learnt a lot from the videos and books of Charles Dowding, and I know many people are following that these days. So you might see some bits of cardboard floating about from where the edges of my beds have somewhat decayed, and probably need a bit of tidying up as well. So quite weirdly maybe, but at the edge of my garlic bed there, I've actually got just I don't know if I'll step back a bit, probably going to fall flat on my see, I've got a little very basic construction of an arch there, but that's because I popped a tayberry plant into the allotment, perhaps just one of the first things I'd ever put in it, and I just wanted to sort of steer that away from the garlic. It did have it going the other way around for a while, but it kept falling down. It seems to be quite happy settled on there, and there are actually some buds on the tayberry bush that will hopefully become nice berries that I can pick. So yeah, I've got, just actually perhaps ought to show you the whole thing. So I've actually set it out so that I've got, I think it's 6 beds down one side of the allotment with a path in the middle, and 6 beds on the other side. It is only what they call a quarter plot allotment. It's 10 metres by 5 metres roughly, but get a lot out of it. So yeah, let's have a look what else we've got. So next to the posh farm shop garlic, I've got another set of garlic that I put in later. And yeah, that was garlic specifically sold for planting, and I think I put that in about end of November, December. And then here I kind of work on the basis of let's use every bit of land that we can, if we can. So there's some radishes there, one of 3 different sorts of radishes that I've planted in this bed. What is it? Astor. So I planted them on the 5th of March. Yeah, they're growing, but no real sign of any emerging radishes yet. So hopefully they'll be better later. You see my lovely pink wheelbarrow in the background. More about stuff another time. Then I've got 3 squares of onions that I've put in here. I think these ones are white onions. I just put them multi-sown in clumps, probably far closer together than they should have been, but what the heck. And here we've got the second lot of the 3 radishes, a little cluster there of French breakfast radish, and I ate one of those earlier. And here then the second lot of onions, which are red onions, not quite sure which sort. This will be a frequent theme, can't remember what they are. And the third set of onions there, which are brown onions. And the third set of radishes there, which are China rose radishes. Actually, I haven't looked. Oh, and this is my enemy, couch grass. I always called it couch grass, and then everybody else told me I was saying it wrong. So couch grass. So I just have to keep pulling out when the roots just go on like spaghetti. Or I always think they're like a fuse of a bomb or something, but no, I need to wait a bit longer for those to do anything. Nice dandelion there, weeds everywhere, honestly. So yeah, 3 lots of onions, 3 lots of radishes, and 2 types of garlic growing in that bed. So yeah, it's quite a happy little bed. And here, oh gosh, I'm just seeing loads of weeds just as I stand here. But here is my broad bean bed, and they're flowering nicely. I was just sat earlier looking at some bumblebees pollinating the flowers, which was lovely to see. So yeah, these were also sown in the autumn of last year. I think they're aquadulce, but broad beans there. Had a fantastic crop last year in what is now the allium bedges that we've just looked at. So hopefully I get another one this year. But also tucked next to them we've got some shallots there, quite a lot of shallots, and some overwintered onions from seed in the far corner there. So I'll look at those in a bit. Down the side of my bed I was going to do like a long row of peas, but then I put some in together with some nice pea sticks which I made out of birch from a tree that we had in our garden that needed trimming. So we've got some peas there. They're not doing brilliantly, it has to be said. And then I've got a rapidly expanding strawberry patch here, which has extended onto last year's leeks, which are about to go to flower. So strawberries there. I didn't want to put the peas in front of the strawberries because I thought I wouldn't be able to pick the strawberries. So yeah, there's going to have to be something shorter there. So yeah, it's a rather, again, messy looking path. I did wood chip all my paths. This one I did on top of pure sheep's wool from packaging, which I don't have a problem with at all, but the birds seem to be loving it for nests, so they have been pulling it to bits, and it makes a little bit of a mess, but it's all natural, so that's okay. And then kind of like in the middle there I've got a clematis. And right, let's go along this bed. So we went past the strawberries. Yeah, as I said, leeks here, last year's. I'm really looking forward to them flowering and having some lovely flower heads that I might save the seeds on, or I might just enjoy as flower heads. And yeah, so I keep picking some of the leeks still. They're still good to eat. But it's very messy, this bed, appallingly messy. And I need to weed it. There's always other things to do. So then here Just put in there some leeks, some new leeks for this year, and I've got some Amsterdam forcing carrots, I think they are, 5 rows, which probably are going to need severe thinning. I'm never very good at thinning. So yeah, that's strawberries in that bed, strawberries, leeks and carrots, and a stray potato. Hello, Mr. Potato. Just came uninvited. Now, this bed just looks like a bit of a mess, a bit of a disaster, but actually this is going to be a long-term, eventually, asparagus bed. So in this bed I've put in a couple of months ago now, buried and topped and mulched and so forth, some asparagus crowns. I did that last year as well, with not in this bed, in a different one, and absolutely nothing came up, and it was just a disaster. Here I've been ever so slightly more lucky this time. I have one asparagus spear come through. It is still early, and the others may cut them and show me that they're alive, but I have a cunning plan that actually I also have in my greenhouse some asparagus growing from seed that I will put in and amongst it, and so we've got two different chances of getting in the asparagus bed, and I will weed around it before I do. And here we have a rather sad little, I think these are wild orchids, I'm not sure what they are, but anyway, they always come up each year. But here we have the rather sad little Jerusalem artichoke, which isn't doing that brilliantly, but I never know. And then there's some more of my peas with a combination of the birch sticks and a trellis that I hoiked up on some sticks. Okay. And then come back to me. And here I've got, again, desperately needed some weeding, some lettuces coming through. And this is just, rudely it might be called weeds, but it is actually my winter salad bed that has just gloriously burst into flower and is, keeping the space. And I do need to weed it, get rid of it really, put some other stuff in, but I'll do that when I'm putting the tender crops out later. So for the moment it's just looking lush and verdant, and I quite like it. And then, this is looking more messy than it needs to. So the rest of the final peas along the right end bottom of the plot, there's a little teepee there at the end where I'll put the last of them as well. Now this is looking rather messier than it was because I just did some trimming and the grass went onto this bed. It was looking quite neat before with some nicely growing beetroot, but the grass won't hurt the beetroot and it should be okay. I've got the first of my beetroot to go out. Multi-sown. I've got more beetroot to come. And this, not a traditional allotment bed, but it's my flower bed and raspberries. The raspberries have been in for a couple of years now, and have been the most unenthusiastic raspberries that I've ever known. They don't seem to be doing much or very keen, but anyway, they might come up with something this year. But what we have here is an amazing lupin plot, and I'm so excited to see these come up in shades of blue and purple. Foxgloves, and then some random spring bulbs that I threw in, and other blue and purple flowers which are at various different stages. More choppings and weedings that have been going on here, and a bit of a mess here, but also some spinach. So I'll be picking some of this, take it home, wash it for, there's lots of these weeds have come here from some cow manure that I used to mulch the plot with. But yes, some spinach and some pea shoots. So peas for shoots that I put in, one of the first crops I put in this year actually, and they are delicious. Lovely, really nice to have as a side. And then we're working our way back up the other side of the allotment now, and this is a bed of brassicas, which I've just got, I think, about 5 different sorts of brassicas in. So we'll look at those in some more detail another time. That's one bed of brassicas, and this is my second bed of brassicas, and these very specially selected out are some purple cauliflowers. I grew purple cauliflowers last year and they were so beautiful and so delicious that I am giving them another go this year and looking after them very carefully. And then in here we've got again some more mixed brassicas. We've got Brussels sprouts and purple sprouting and Savoy cabbage, and they're all not, they only put them out a couple of days ago and they're not looking brilliantly happy, but I think they might just be having a soak. And then second sort of leek that I put in here next to some pak choi, purple pak choi, next to some turnips. I've never grown turnips before and I'm not even sure I really like turnips, but I just kind of had it in my head that I wanted to grow turnips. Don't know why. Maybe I shall make myself like turnips. And then we have another very weedy path, which my strimmer has run out of energy. I haven't trimmed it yet. And here we have a couple of rows of parsnip seeds coming up. Oh look, that's even got a secondary leaf. So yeah, I wasn't sure whether they'd come up or not, but they are. And once they have come up and I can distinguish them more clearly from anything else, I shall weed this area. And we have here a lovely homemade birch sweet pea tower that my sweet peas are not yet cooperating with very well, but they will, I'm sure, and it'll be very lovely. And that's next to two self-sown overwintered broad bean plants which refuse to die, and yeah, they're going to give us some broad beans, I think. And here a very optimistic tower which I just put in because it was in the way and I was trying to move other things, so don't know what's going to grow up that, and it may actually move, but there we go. And so that takes me back to where I started it, which is when I was sitting on my little lovely bench talking to you. So there we go, that was the first look at my little allotment. Lots on it, pretty messy, but lots of lovely food growing there, and yeah, I shall show you some more things another day soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did or like it, and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.